Hey, what's up, guys? I'm back for another deck profile here. Now, last week I was like, hey, dude, I'm gonna fucking profile my favorite fucking deck, or one of my favorite decks of all time, blah, blah, blah. Hey, dude, guess what fucked me, dude? The mail. And supposedly, I'm missing one card from it. I chose not to profile it because, it's, like I said, it's one of my favorite decks. I don't want to show the fucking proxies, if I can help it. Especially, cards that are worth money that I paid for. So there's, next weekend will be that. This one, though, I had quite a few comments in my section that wanted me to redo the Adamancipator Prank Kids list, update it. And let me tell you, dude, I think this deck, the Adamancipator Prank Kids, to be honest, is probably my favorite deck of the format. If not, Virtual World would be, or Zoo, something like that. I really like the format right now. Everyone's like, oh, dude, it's stale or whatever. I mean, granted, whatever. But there's a lot of decks that are very good. Rogue wins sometimes, blah, blah. So, but yeah, dude, without further ado, dude, this is my updated, because I already profiled this. Actually, hold on. Before I say anything, we did hit 1,000 views on the Infernity deck profile. Super fucking proud of that. Thank you, guys. A lot of likes. There was only like 2 dislikes on the video out of 1,000 fucking views, and it was like 40 something likes or something. I was like, fuck yeah, dude. So I do intend to update Infernity if that's something you guys want. There's a couple builds I've been looking at that I think are just fucking oh fuck. So but yeah, dude, without further ado, dude, Adamancipator Prank Kids. That's I don't know if you guys see in that middle, that's a token I made actually a long time ago when fucking, what's it, Adamancipator Friends or some shit. It looks like shit, so it's whatever, but yeah, dude, so I will show a slight combo video at the end of this. Without further ado, let's get right into it, dude. Alright, so obviously the 3 researcher. If you control a rock monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, and then activate the top 5 cards of your deck. Special summon a level 4 lower rock monster non-tuner. So, it's also a level 2 rock tuner. So, and then 3 Adamancipator Seeker. This card, if you control an Adamancipator monster, you can special summon it. You can activate the top 5 cards of your deck to special summon a level 4 lower non-tuner rock monster. So, I'm going to try and keep doing the explanations. I know some people are just like, oh, dude, I know what these cards do. And I'm just like, yeah, well, for some people like me, like when I look at older decks or whatever, or decks I'm not, like, familiar with them, I'm familiar with, like, probably every deck, because I play this game my whole life, but I like the explanation. So, 3 Analyzer. This card, if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hands like Cyber Dragon. And then you can activate the top 5 cards of your deck, special summon level 4 lower non-tuner rock monster. This is actually my favorite one. I think I've said in the past video, like, seeing this going second is just, it's so good. It's a good feeling, dude, to be honest. This card's just really good. Plus it being level 4 is just very relevant for, like, the rank 4s. So, sick. But, yeah, dude, so we'll get into the Prank Kids again. I know some people like the, obviously the 3 Roxys. When this card is used for a Prank Kids fusion or a Link monster, you can banish a card from your hand, draw a card, and special summon a Prank Kids monster that is not Roxy's from your deck in defense position. Obviously, it's a level 4 It's a level 4 rock monster. So this card is just so good, dude. I love seeing, like, just drawing, like, one of the Adamancipators and just being like, oh, reveal Roxy's, and then your opponent has to actually think about what's going on because you already have more extenders in your hand, so you're just like, woo, see you later. And then, obviously, I'm still playing one of each of the, you can stay down here for a second, babe. I am still playing one of each of the Prank Kids, the Fansies, the Dropsies, and Lampsies. Fansies, you send a Prank Kids card from your deck to graveyard when it's, all of these are just like Roxys when they're used for a Prank Kids fusion or Link monster. They do their effects. This one is send a Prank Kids card from your deck to graveyard to summon a Prank Kids monster from your deck in defense mode that is not Fansies. This one is you gain 1,000 life points and summon a Prank Kids monster from your deck in defense mode that is not Dropsies. And then Lampsies, you burn your opponent for 500 and special summon a Prank Kids monster from your deck in defense mode that is not AMC's. So. And then I'm still, I was toying with some ratios with some things. Also, big shout out to my dude Fee. I was asking him about a couple ruling things with his deck again. There was little things I got mixed up and stuff, but I want to be clear when I do my stuff. It's just, it's one thing that, I like to, sometimes I'll be like, oh, dude, I say this, and like later I'll be like, that's not what it was, but you know what I'm saying, so. And then, so for the Quackimiros, three of the Homeboy the Supplier. This card is special summoned. So this card you can, if a rock monster goes from the field to the graveyard, special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned, you can add a Quackimiro or Iron Core from your deck to your hand. So, and then 3 Guardian. This card is just like, this is kind of like your safe proof going first. I know a lot of people aren't playing Nibiru right now, which I respect. I still think Nibiru is kind of relevant. It'd be in my side deck if I went to an event and played this deck. Obviously, since we're playing rocks or whatnot, but this card. If your opponent's monster effect activates, you can tribute this card to negate and destroy it. Not a hard once per turn at all. If this card is on your board at the end of the turn, you have to either reveal an Iron Core card or Iron Core or a rock monster, and to keep this alive, otherwise it'll destroy itself. So this card's insane though. You love to see this always in your opening hand if you go first. Blah blah. Even going second, it's very good. And then the Doki Doki, bro. This card's very good. Card insane. Discard a card from your hand. I said this last video. Discard a rock monster to summon a rock monster from your deck that is the same level and attribute as that rock monster in face-up attack mode or, face-down defense position. So this card's very good. Also, it's level 2, so if you have like this and Analyzer, it can make the Raptite, which is very important. I think Raptite's my favorite extra deck card. So there is changes in this, by the way. If you guys watched my last video, don't worry. I'm not just going to post the same profile and be like, oh, nice, dude. And then 3 Parallel Exceeds. This card, honestly, I think is like one of my... This card's just so absurd. Like, there'll be times where like I'll Doki Doki, and I'll Ash it, and then I'll just make fucking Owl Mirage, and then this into Grey Knight, into Researcher, and then they're just like, what did I do? Yeah, dude, this deck just snowballs so heavy. Like, sometimes there's hands you open up that are just ridiculous. But, dude. So, also this card, if you link summon, you can reveal this card special it to a link arrow, and it halves its attack and halves its level, so it goes to level 4. And then you can special summon one from your deck. So, this card's very good. Cyberse monster, not a rock monster, by the way. Then you guys know me, as always. 3 Dark World or more. I still think this is just one of the fucking just most ridiculous cards. Like, I know a lot of people cut it to the side or not playing it at all. I'd just rather have this 3 in the main for like all of a sudden you're just like, oh, dude, I'm playing his combo. Like, this deck, in my opinion, outgrinds like the control variants. I actually tested this morning the control variant of Adamancipator. I took out the Prank Kids cards and I was like, I'm gonna do the control Adamancipator list with like the Dragite, the blue rock monster, the level 4 one, and like a couple, like the extender build or whatever. I think it was like Paul Cooper that played it. Not a huge fan of that build at all. It kind of, in my opinion, gets shut down by a lot of things. So I was just like, nah, I'm just not. I want to go back. I'd rather profile a deck that was very good instead of be like, oh, I think this one, the control build, it's pretty good. You know what I mean? I don't want to profile something that's just like, I'm just like, it's all right. Like, I want to profile stuff that I would play at a tournament. You know what I mean? So, but so obviously 3 Dark Lord, and then the 3 Signs. Obviously this card's ridiculous. Not a hard once per turn. Target a level 4 or lower rock monster in your graveyard. It's supposed to summon a defense position. Also, if you special an Adamancipator with this, you can put a level 4 or lower rock monster from your deck on top of your deck. So it makes it easier to get to the Roxies. If your opponent knows what you're playing, like once you go to game 2 or whatever, they get stressed once you start excavating. So they're like, yo, once he hits the Roxies, I'm just fucked. Like, they're just like, oh, dude, he can't hit the fucking Roxy's because it goes the meow meow and blah blah blah, and you're just like, ooh, whoop. But it's this deck is just absurd to me. I think this is, like I said earlier, my favorite deck of the format. But and then I have a bunch of one-ups here. I did change a bunch of ratios that I had. So obviously the one Pandemonium for the Prank Kids. This is the thing you add for Doodle Doodle Dudes to fuse Battle Butler during the main phase. This is a 40 card list. I do play the Upstart. Do play the Called by the Grave. Do play the Monster Reborn. And then one thing I noticed, you can pin it up here, babe. One thing I noticed when I was playing, I was like, yo, I just want more extenders. Like, you know, like people were playing like the Madolche, like level 4, where it was like, if you have no monster in your grave, you can special summon this, the level 4 or whatever, or like Paul Cooper with the Hat Trigger or stuff like that. And I was like, yo, I want to play like more spells. You know what I mean? Like the monster effects are like, you know, they're great and stuff. But I tested this and it was very good. So like I'm really happy that I played it. Obviously the one reasoning, this is my favorite card in the deck, spell wise. This Infernoids is one of my favorite decks of all time. So this takes me back to that. Obviously there's, you know, 4s, 2s, blah blah blah. So insane. And then I do play the Succession, and I actually put in Living Fossil as well. You know, target level 4 lower. Is it level 4 lower? I think it's level 4 lower. Just very good. It's kind of like Premature Burial, except for you don't pay the 100. I know I'm not comparing this card to Premature, but it's just an extra reborn card. So same with Succession, because your arrows are always really good. And then I do play the One Shade. This card, I actually draw this often, which is very nice. Huge fan of this card as well. So that is a 40 cards, I believe. So. And then for the extra deck, still sticking with the homeboy, the one Battle Butler, obviously. Not a hard once per turn. You can tribute this card. Destroy all your opponent's monsters. Also, one thing, Thunder Dragons is like one of my favorite decks. I almost profiled Thunder Dragon Dinosaurs today, but I was just like, you know, and I'm going to go back to this because people were asking about like an updated list for this. But this is Thunder, so I'm sure people know that already. But yeah, so that's the homeboy right there. And then for the Exceeds, obviously the Dweller and the Granite is my favorite card in the extra deck other than Butler. So everyone knows what Dweller does. And then for the Link ones, Almirage and the Meow Meow. Obviously, people know that this is a rock monster, as I said in my last video. This card's just very good in general. When I was testing the control Adamancipator build, where like you would summon the Dragite, the water rock, and then you would make this, summon Parallel Exceed, make the Granite, search for the Researcher, blah blah. Like a lot of the times it would just get stopped, and it was just not very like impactful. And I'd rather have my opponent sweating the whole time, like when they're just like, where's the Roxy's at, dude? Like, also when you see the reasoning, sometimes they'll be like 4 or 2, and all of a sudden you just hit like a Lampsies or a fucking, you know what I mean, a Fansy, something like that. So you're just like, ooh, see you later. And then for the Link 2s, obviously the Doodle Doodle Dudes, 2 Prank Kids monsters. This card's Link Summon. You can add a Prank Kids spell or trap from deck to hand. Obviously Pandemonium is the only one you would add. And then not quick effect, only during your turn. You can tribute this card to add 2 Prank Kids cards from your graveyard to your hand. So, and then obviously the one Needle Fiber, the one IP to finish out the Link 2s. And then also one thing I wanted to specify, in this new build that I was testing, since I changed a few things, the extra deck's different, but I actually used the Heckle Fiber Axe tag out effect, so I will show you that. But for Link 3, obviously just the one night, the Unicorn, Nightmare Unicorn. And then for the only Link 4, the Access Code Talker. I mean, this card's fucking ridiculous. So, alright, and then this is when it's different from what it was last time. Obviously the main deck's different, but I am playing the Formula Synchron for the Heckle Fiber Axe tag out. Sometimes like you'll make the Raptide, speaking of Raptide, You can say it on here, babe. So sometimes I'll make the Raptide and just keep the Raptide out, and then like you'll banish a card from their graveyard with the Hulk still up here. And where's he at? Yeah, that's nope. Sick. All right. So sometimes like your end board will be like this with like a Dropsies or like a Dweller and a Dropsies or whatever. And then sometimes you'll just be like, oh, dude, like you know, banish a card from their graveyard. Then, you know, during their mana phase or battle phase, you tag this out for the Form of the Synchron, you'll draw a card, and then this will turn into the Crystal Wing. This card's very good. Obviously, you can make this on your turn or your opponent's turn with what I just showed you, but this card, this is like one of my favorite cards in the deck now. I wasn't thinking too much ahead of it, but I wanted to profile Virtual World again, but I feel like the Virtual World deck profile pool is just so diluted. Like everyone's like, here's my list, and it's just very similar. Like they're all the same. There's so many just similar lists of Virtual World. But the other two the other two singers I play is obviously the Dragite and the Savage. So, and I will show you just a quick combo. If you guys didn't watch the last video, I'm going to show you I have one thing to say after this profile, though, so stick around. So, so we got this, and your boy. Alright, so, the one thing about this is, alright, so I'm going to start doing this. Maybe you see down here. Mm-hmm. Alright, so, your hand will be this. This is just what your hand would be. Obviously, 5-card starter, but I want to stress this the most. I didn't say this in the last video. Was this could be any of the Emancipators that just happen to hit the Roxys off the top. It's all a 1-card combo. It's just like you can't show a lot of combos with that Emancipators because it's just very luck based on what you actually excavate. So, so obviously you would just, if your hand is, you have 4 cards, you normal the Roxys, link off the Roxys, meow meow. And the Roxy's effect, you would banish 1 card in hand, doesn't matter what it is. And you would draw a new card. And then Roxy's will summon from deck the Fancies. Also, sometimes you'll open either the... We'll get into this in a second. So you summon the Fancies, and you'll link these 2 off into Doodle Doodle Dudes. Where's my boy at? Alright, so Doodle Doodle Dudes. And then depending on what your hand looks like or, how you want to go about it, you can chain link 1, chain link 2. So this will dump the Lampsies will dump, or I'm sorry, the Fancies will dump the Lampsies to graveyard to summon the Dropsies. And then the Doodle Dudes will add the Pandemonium. And then now you would tribute off the Doodle Dudes to add back the Fancies and the Lampsies. And like I said in the last video, you want to have this. This is the best one to have on board because it's level 2. So it's easier to synchro with. Like, Lampsies doesn't do anything for you. Fancies doesn't do anything for you. So, and then, obviously you have 4 other cards to play with. But, you know what I'm saying? So you would just set this, base whatever. And then during your opponent's main phase, this can only be used during the main phase. You would fuse all 3 of these, the Dropsies, Lampsies, Fansies, into the old Battle Butler, and still see this, babe? Mm-hmm. And then you would chain link 1, 2, doesn't really matter. Burn your opponent for 500, and that will summon the Roxys, and then you gain 1,000, which will summon another Roxys. If I can find it, yeah, there you go. So, also, since your opponent's turn, you have the Meow Meow in graveyard. Still 4 other cards. You would have made a huge board or would have made more stuff than this, but this can Regeki, banish this to say not tribute this, or double Regeki, so you hit the board twice. Also, sometimes they can't get around it, so you start your turn with 2 rock monsters level 4, so you can make like the Granite if you already didn't, blah blah. So Yeah, guys. So it's just, I think this is like one of my favorite decks I played in a long time. I don't. I was playing a bunch of stuff. I want to see what the ban list brings. Supposedly this week, this upcoming week. I hope it's good. That's why I didn't really want to go over too much stuff. I have some stuff set aside for what the new meta will look like if it does. But I do have a new Inferni list that I will post. People want to see it, along with the Orcust Mermails. People have been talking about that in the comments. They're like, "Yo, show the Orcust Mermail." I didn't want to show Mermails again, but I definitely will do that. I'm actually really proud of how I built that deck. So, but yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting me and stuff. And let's keep going those subs up, dude. I'm gonna do something crazy once we reach a certain amount. So, cheers.